This is going to be the fastest direction video. Change in y. If I want to figure out how much 2 changed when it went to 5, I do 5 minus 2. And that tells me that 2 changed by going up 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. Okay, and you have to compare it to the change in x. So that's a plus 1. Plus 1. 0 went up to 1. 1 plus 1 was 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. The bell work today had horizontal tables where it can really kind of confuse kids. So we got 3 over 1, or you just say 3. You make it an integer when you can. Now, to know the change in y here, if I want to know how much 3 changed when it went to 2, I could do 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. I could do 1 minus 2, and you can see that dropped 1. So 1 dropped down 1 to get to 0. 0 dropped down 1. 0 jumped up 1 to get to 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1, 3. The rule is if you can make it an integer, to just go ahead and make it an integer. An integer is the set of negatives, positives, and 0. It can't be fractions, so when you can make it an integer, you do so. Okay, negatives are kind of more difficult to deal with. Okay, so think about it. If it's negative 7 degrees outside, and then it warms up to negative 2, how much did the temperature rise? Well, it rose 5. You could also do negative 2, this one, minus that one, and that tell you how much negative 7 changed when it went to negative 2. And you can see that's where I got that plus 5. And then here, you could do 3 minus negative 2, and again, that turns into 5, so that went up 5. Or think about the temperature was negative 2 and it rose to 3. 8 minus 3 is 5. 13 minus 8, 5. Okay, change in x. I could do 1 minus 0 to find out how much 0 went up. Well, it went up 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, if it was negative 1 outside and it went to 0, it went up 1. So all those are going up by 1. Change in x. How much did that go up? Well, 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 went up 2. 6 went up 2. The change was 2. Okay, to do the next question, it says the following has a slope of 2. So remember, it's change in y over change in x. That's what slope is, or mountain. And so this would be like 2 over 1. So the y's, that's my change in y. 1 is my change in x. So my change in y is like the y's are always going to go up 2. So negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. See, that's plus 2. Negative 2 plus 2, 0. Okay, where I start with the change in x, okay, is here. Okay, I'll look at it and I'll say, we'll figure that one out. Is negative 1, if you add 1 to negative 1, the change in x is 1, you get 0. Now, how do I find the one before this one? Well, okay, I've got a little equation. I did 6 plus 1 to get negative 1. It's like, we don't know what that is, but this is how you can find it algebraically. See, negative 2 plus 1's negative 1. Okay, this one was already a fraction, so the change in y is 2. The change in x is 3. So that means we're adding 2 to the y's. Okay, the x's are 3's. So the x's are going up by 3. So again, we don't know what goes there, but we do know one thing. We do know x plus 3 gave us 0. So that x is negative 3, because negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Okay, then we got to the back part, and I wish I'd have told you to make a t-chart from graphs. It's actually easier than doing the fall over run. If you know ordered pairs, you know anything in that quadrant's negative, positive. So that negative number has to go first. So I should have told you to make an XY table. And see, anything in this quadrant is positive, negative. So the positive number has to go first. I don't know if y'all ever knew that about that little trick I taught you. I said it once. I don't know if that's really teaching it. Okay. So now we got to find the change in y, which that the y went down to. And if you look at I can't draw Mr. Slope Guy. Okay, if you look at Mr. Slope Guy, this is the positive eyebrow, negative eyebrow, undefined nose. The mouth is 0. So if I look at that, which part of Mr. Slope Guy is it? Oh, it's that negative eyebrow. So you could have fall 2. That's how the y changed. If you look at my t-chart, okay, and then how much did the temperature rise from negative 1 to 4? Well, it went up 5. So that means your run is 5. So the slope of that line is negative 2/5. I'm looking for a highlighter, but all I got's orange. See, that was negative 2/5. Okay, if you make a t-chart of this one, I can fit it there. Okay, anything on this is going to be negative 0. Anything on the x-axis, this is going to be the positive quadrant. So it's 4, 1. All right, so if you look at Mr. Slope Guy, Okay, you could tell this is the positive eyebrow. So the change in y is 1. And the change in x, that went up 6. So rise 1, run 6. Okay, slope could also be called rise over run. So this is a different strategy. Okay, you're going to travel up the hill. This is Mr. Slope Guy's positive eyebrow. Okay, how did the y change? The y went from -1 to 2. So how much did it go up? 3. And we're traveling on the y-axis. Now the run is the change in x. The x was -3 and it went to 3. So it went right 6. Slopes always got to be simplified. Fractions are not your worst enemy. There's a 3 can go into both of these. It's not. So the slope of this line is 1/2. And you can actually see that. If I look at those 2 points, you can see that that's rise 1, run 2. You can see that it's 1/2. That's why you got to simplify it. Okay, then the problems began. It's like stuff from the past, which is okay. It happens in math classes. Like, we teach a lot of information. So 2 times 5, that's 10x. 2 times 2 is 4, the distributive property. I forgot I changed this in my before my second singleton. Just change that. I think I had it as like, I think it was like a 2. Yeah, I had it as like 2 in the first singleton. Just change it to 24. Okay, closed circle, going left to where the numbers are smaller than 2, and it's a closed circle because it can actually be 2. Okay, I'm sure this one gave you a fit. I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides, because when variables are on both sides, you got to eliminate them from one side and relocate them to the other. So we get -2x plus 4 is less than 6. Subtract 4. Okay, when you divide by a negative, you got to do that you got to flip it. So we're going to do an open circle on -1, and this is x is greater than -1. So we have to go the direction where they're greater than. Okay, that's a congruent symbol in math. So this is 6x minus 4. Okay, the opposite sides of a rectangle are congruent. So I'd hate to write out, I write out you could just combine like terms from the picture. Wait, let's do it in a better way. Let's stack it. This is called the vertical method. I'm taking every then add up the columns. So 6, 12, 24, 3650. So 50x. If we knew x, you'd do 50 times x, and then you'd add 13. See y'all on the next one.